Hello, my name is Quinn Pham, and this is my iSearch project on video game benefits. What can video games help people with? This is how many people played video games in 2020. What are video games? Video games are programs that involve interaction with a controller or keyboard and mouse. There are many different types of video games, and these are some of the genres up here. Subtopics. These are my subtopics, and they ask, what can video games help people with illnesses communicate their problems with others? How can video games help people with mental disorders? And how can video games help people with ADHD concentrate better? This is my thesis, and it is video games should be more widely accepted in society as certain types of video games can help people learn about their mental health problems, illnesses like cancer, and mental disabilities like autism. My first claim is video games can be more effective than pills for mental health disorders, as they can help people with it learn about what they're dealing with. According to Akali Interactive Labs, a digital therapeutic company that made a video game for ADHD children, and in order to release this to the public, they needed to get FDA approved, in which they did. So the main purpose of this game is for people with ADHD to manage cognitive tasks, shift between tasks, and ignore distractions. They tested this with 348 children with ADHD, one half playing their game and another half playing a controlled game. Both groups played 25 minutes per day, 5 days per week for a month. The children who played the game, they had an improvement of 0.93 for the API test rather than the 0.03 of the other group. They also made an improvement in attention impairment for with 36% to 21%. And I say they can be better than pills because pills can only do one thing and it'll always be the same, rather than video games can adapt to the people playing it. These are some of the graphs showing the results. My second claim is video games can help people with mental disabilities like autism with cognitive training. According to a study by Sylvia Serret, a physicist at University Hospital Children Adolescents Physicry, found that video games can help children with autism like cognitive training, physical training, and social training. 25 kids with autism played a puzzle game called Somatic that its purpose is to improve literacy skills and reading skills for 24 weeks. 77% increase in alphabet recognition, 84.9% in word reading, 91.1% in sentence reading, and 97.1% in EP word segmenting. This is in the same article by Espanol et al., and they found that video games designed for academic performance works. They tested this by getting 15 children with autism to play a game called CPAT, whose aim is to improve academic performance, and for about 45 minutes twice a week for 8 weeks. The results were 16% improvement in nonverbal skills, 85.7% improvement in math, 50.5% improvement in reading comprehension, and 81.5 improvement in copying rate. Uh, Another study done in the same article by Anderson Hanley wanted to see if video games are a decent try for physical training for the mentally disabled. They tested this with 22 children to play Dance Revolution for 20 minutes whenever they felt like playing. Results were a 12% increase in cognitive activities and a 38% decrease in repetitive behavior. This is my second. This is my second claim. Some video games can help cancer patients learn what they're dealing with and communicate it with others. In a study conducted by Hope Labs Industry, a company made a game designed for cancer patients to educate them and prepare them in terms of cancer progression. They tested this with 57 people with cancer, played their game Remission 1, and after they were done, they took an MRI brain scan, and all of them had an increase in positive motivation, which is also the same as treatment for it. The results were so positive for this game that they made a second game, which is Remission 2, with 6 different parts to it. This is my counter argument, and it is many people think that being addicted to video games can have severe problems on your physical and mental health and could cause antisocial behavior. Counter evidence. Philip A. Chan is an infectious disease physician, and Terry Botnowitz, physicist who wrote an article about video game addiction can cause poor grades and is the host of mental health problems and also can cause physical health problems. Uh, their study was to take 2,507 people taking a survey with 80% of them saying that playing online video games has at least sacrificed one element of their lives. For example, like sleep, work, or education. And another thing is violent video games can also cause violent behavior. This is my rebuttal. Even though 80% of people did say that video games sacrifice an aspect in life is valid, but the survey was back in 2010 and probably doesn't apply as much to now. Some other aspects with physical health. There are now video games that make you work out, and multiplayer games are games where you need to communicate to play. For the most violent, for the part of violent video games can cause violent behaviors. Most people know that the difference between the real life and screen is very different. And for this, Aaron Karen, uh, politics at League of Ordinary Gentlemen, a politics and culture blog, writes about technology and video games for Forbes and talks about how violent video games can't be for violent behavior because there is no real evidence showing that violent video games cause this. Another article showing that Nielsen Holdings is a media company, operates in 100 countries, states that video game is a good source of entertainment and offers it for escape from people. And to the left, you see some of the results. So I forgot to add my concluding remarks slide, but I would say that I think video games should be more widely accepted as a good thing, as you saw in my slide earlier that they can actually help people with ADHD or cancer or autism with a lot of things, and I think that's a really good thing, and don't think that video games should have such a bad name on it for like lowering academic scores and such. Uh, and these Google Drives are my benefits of video games and non-benefits of video games. And that's all, and thank you for listening.